Hi, I'm Victor. Welcome to Not the Lab. This is my workbench. Today I figured we'd talk about how I test my metals. We'll go through some sterling, some of the scrap gold I've purchased, and a bit of my refined gold and check its purity. I started by testing with acids. You file it down, use a touchstone, and put a drop of testing acid on it to see what carat it is. And that works awesome, but it's not fast and it's not courteous due to the smells and vapors when you're in a jeweler's showroom or in a pawn shop buying scrap. You also can't use them at estate sales or with individual sales due to the damage they cause. I do use them, but not that much anymore. Most of the time I use a gold key tester. It's fast, non-destructive, and doesn't leave a mess or ruin pieces. We'll get that out and get into how it works in just a bit once I start testing the gold. And no, they don't sponsor me. I also use a loupe, and pretty often, pretty much on every piece I buy. I'll look at it through the loupe to verify the markings. So I have some sterling I thought we could look at to identify the markings on first. Cool looking ice grabber. Now this is all sterling I use to inquart my gold with, or just refine down into bars of pure silver. Either way, it ends up as pure silver bars in the end. I think the large ladle is used for punches and such, but I like the little ladle most of any of them. If anyone knows the proper names of this stuff, please let me know in the comments below. My other favorite is the ice cube grabber. Okay, let's get down to business. Let's start with a spoon. If I can get the camera to focus. There we go, sterling. Some of these you can see with your eye. I can't, but the camera can. Especially if the camera doesn't focus. But that's when I reach for my loupe. And reading it with a loupe is pretty easy. All the sterling I buy, in fact all the carat scrap I buy, is marked. There are exceptions, but as a general rule, the sterling and carat scrap should all be marked. Let's check out this fork. Company markings, company name, sterling. Let's see if I can do that again, but get the camera to focus better. Wait, that's upside down. There we go, that's much better. Let's do a fun one, as in old and worn. I see where the markings should be, but I can't quite make it out. I'll grab my glasses. Yeah, it's right there. Sterling. It's upside down, but it's right there. Can't even really make out the company or the branding. I'll flip it over. These might be some other markings here, but I think it's just scratches. Yeah, it's just scratches. Anyway, that's where it says sterling. Let's do another fork. And sterling. Can't quite make out the company name or the branding. But that's sterling. Let's do my favorite. Sterling. That one's real easy to see. That might not go in the melt. I may save this one. Now I'd be real interested into what kind of spoon this is. It is just horrid. But it is sterling. I'll check this one first to make sure it's right side up before I show you. Sterling right there. I'm probably going to save these from the melt too. Sterling. I'll flip it over so you guys can see it. There's your branding and sterling. Alright, let's move on to some gold. This is my Kee tester. It tests gold by measuring its electrochemical potential. With a Kee tester, I calibrate it before every test session. If the temperature and humidity is different and has changed since the last use, you need to calibrate it to work in those new conditions. To calibrate it, you need a known good piece of 18 karat gold. This is the back of a watch that I keep with my tester for calibration. As you can see, it's 18K. All of the following scrap gold I've already checked for markings with the loupe, because for me it's the first step, then I use the tester. First thing we'll do is hook up the probe and turn on the machine. You want to keep these probes in a Ziploc bag or the Ziploc bag it came in. If it dries out, it won't work, and you'll have to buy a new one. Put the 18K on the metal testing surface. Take the cap off the probe and put it on the 18K piece. The knob on the right is used for adjustments. You want to put the needle right in the center of the 18K mark on the dial, but wait till the needle settles in position before making adjustments. Once you have it centered, the calibration is complete. You may have also noticed the needle rhythmically pulsing once it's settled. That's my heartbeat. Yes, it's that sensitive. Okay, now that it's calibrated, let's do our first piece. Remember, I've looped these already. The needle should rise slow and steady. That's 10K. Once the needle reaches apogee, let it sit for a moment. You want to do this to make sure it's not plated or gold filled. The needle will bounce around if it is. I have a few pieces to demonstrate that with later. Another 10K piece. Another 10K piece. The needle this time rose above the 10K mark. It went into the green. It doesn't count as 14K until it passes the 14K mark. That's 10K as well. Nice little stone on this ring. I don't know what the stone is, I haven't tested it yet. When I purchase Karat scrap, I only pay for the Karat gold content, not the stones. Another 10K piece. When pawn shops or jewelers purchase used jewelry, they also only pay for gold content. To be counted as 10K or 14K, the needle has to move past that mark on the dial. For 18K and higher, it needs to be nicely in the zone, not on the border of it. That's 14K. Another 14K piece. Nice chunky gold pocket watch. That's going to be 14K. $14K dolphin. Two nice little stones. Normally I test all the stones once I remove them. That's going to be 10K. That's a chunky 10K, probably close to 12, but purchased as 10. $14K. Now this is neat and pretty heavy too. I don't come across stuff like this too often. When things have multiple parts, you want to test each one. Now this one, the outside ring is testing at just about 18K, and the globe is testing almost halfway into the 18K. So overall, this one would be 18K. Fish anyone? It's got the scales and everything. That's going to be 14K. A nice little locket. Kind of bent up, but it'll make a nice bar. $14K. Nice looking cross. And 14K. A little earring here. See how this one's kind of bouncing around? Almost like I can't get a good read on it. This is how gold filled or gold plated reacts. It just kind of bounces all over the place. So the needle will go up and then it'll bounce and go back down. I'll get the loupe out and show you. $12K 120. That is definitely gold filled. I also buy and refine gold filled material too. This is pretty worn. The one is definitely rubbed off. It's also upside down as usual. I'll flip it over and see if we can't get a better look at it. Well, this way I can't seem to get the loupe down good enough to get a good look at it. I'll open it up and see if we can get a better look at it then. Now I can see the 1/20. 1/20, 12K. It is very worn. I'm not sure you're going to be able to make it out on camera or not. It is pretty worn. This pin is definitely gold filled, but I wanted to test a few pieces so you could see how the tester reacts to gold filled. Again, see how it just bounces around? Eventually the current will settle and find a good path and it will get a steady read. Just like that. Especially on thicker pieces, which is why you always have to loupe it. There you go, 14K gold filled. You can see the GF stamp right after the 14K. Let me see if I can get a little better angle on it. There's your 14, KT, GF. 14K gold filled. Now this is one solid chunky chain. And it comes in right at 18K, right smack in the middle. And it's heavy. I'll give you an idea of the weight. You can tell by the way it hits the table, it's really heavy. A nice bracelet. Another 18K piece. This tester will also do coins too. That's coming right in at 22, 23K. This is a nice gold and white gold bracelet. This tester will also do platinum, but this is not pure platinum. I'll test the gold side first and then the white gold side. That's 18K. And that's 18K. A gold wedding band. $18K. Just because it bounced around a little bit, I'm going to loop it. F6, 18K. Sometimes I let the needle settle and then watch my heart beat for a few beats, and that's how I know it's not bouncing around. Nice and steady this time. Definitely 18K. Another coin. Sometimes with coins, it's better to turn them on end like this. You get a better test result. 22K. Now let's test one of my refined bars. Pretty, ain't it? And sometimes you gotta hold things down so they make good contact. 24K, dead on. $24K all day long. I may report this into a coin. I haven't made up my mind yet. What do you guys think? I'd like to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.